Hello and welcome to Around SAM, that show that keeps you updated on up-and-coming events here at Sam Houston State University. And today we have a special guest, Chantal Brissette from the Academic Success Center, and she'll tell us about the plenty of contests they have going on. This and much more coming right up. Hello and welcome, Chantal. How are you?
Good, thank you.
Thanks for being on the show for us today.
Thank you for inviting me.
No problem. Well, tell us a little bit about yourself.
Well, I grew up in Mexico, but then I lived for 10 years in the Valley right before I came to Huntsville. I worked at a university down there in Edinburgh, Texas. I did my bachelor's there and my master's degree. And then once I finished my master's, I decided I needed to move on with my career, and I applied for jobs around the country, and SHSU gave me an opportunity to come over here.
Perfect. And then you're with the Academic Success Center here at Sam Houston. How did you get involved with that?
Well, Dr. Kay Angrove is my supervisor. She was the one that offered me the job position that I have now, and I ended up here.
Perfect. And what is the Academic Success Center, and where is it located at?
So the Academic Success Center is somewhere here on campus. We also have a Woodlands office where students can go for tutoring and peer mentoring. And we are located here on the Huntsville campus inside the library, the Milton Gresham Library, next to Starbucks.
Perfect. And what kind of, I know you mentioned tutoring is an aspect that you guys offer. What kind of tutoring do you guys offer? Is it specific subjects, certain subjects, or how does that work?
Yeah, so the tutors focus on academic information that students might need help with. So anything from like math, English, writing, different languages, sciences, almost everything you can imagine they'll have tutoring for. Peer mentors focus on more like non-academic content with like more like soft skill subjects with like, I need help with Blackboard, or I don't know how to apply for a scholarship, or maybe someone is just going through a rough time, they can go look for help there, and then they can reference them to like the health center or other resources on campus. Perfect.
And then I know you mentioned you guys do like math tutoring and all that. Is it like all level math, or just like underclassmen, like 1300 and 2300 level math?
So it's a lot of the basics, and then there are some more upper level like statistics and algebra and some other ones like that. Yeah.
Perfect. I know you guys are hosting a couple of contests right now, specifically the Measure of a Life essay contest. Can you tell us a little bit more about that?
Yeah. So Measure of a Life essay contest is basically how the title says. It's an essay contest. Students can submit their original work via email. And they can win, whoever the winner is. We will have 3 winners, third, second, first place, and they will win scholarship monies.
Perfect. And how long has this been going on for?
Well, it's the first time we're doing it actually, but we're hoping it becomes a yearly thing. So we'll probably have it every spring from now on.
Perfect. Whose idea was it to come up with this essay contest?
So I know the department had something similar before I came to work here, but this time they decided to focus on the university's motto, which is the measure of a life is its service. So the essay has to have that in mind. It has to embody that sense of service to the community.
Perfect. I know you mentioned there's going to be first, second, third place prizes. Can you tell us what those prizes might be?
Yeah, so the third place will win $250, I believe, in scholarship money. Second place, $750, and first place, $1,000 scholarship money.
Perfect. And then, obviously, as the title says, the essay contest says the measure of a life is its service. What does that entail specifically with writing? Like, let's say a student is out there interested in the topic or the essay contest, and they're struggling about what to write or how to write it. What guidelines can you give us? Yeah,
so it has to be a max of 500 words. It can't be more than that. And it just has to talk about either something that they did to serve the community or something they've seen another Bearcat do, or someone in around campus that have something they've seen around campus, someone do to serve their community. So it would have to be something that maybe they sacrificed in helping others or anything like that.
Perfect. And does it have to be specifically here on campus, or can it be something they did back home in their hometown?
Yeah, no, as long as they're talking about a Bearcat, it can be from something that they did back home or someone else did back home. Yeah.
So it can be about someone else as well, correct?
Yes.
Okay. And what inspired, besides obviously the university's motto, what else inspired this essay contest?
Well, we are actually, the ASC is actually hosting this event with another 2 departments. And which is the Provost Office and the SHSU Center for Community Engagement. So the three departments kind of came together and said, we really want to like have some way for students to win scholarships in a meaningful way. And they really wanted to highlight the school motto. So it just all came together.
Perfect. And I know the competition is still ongoing, but what kind of stories or story essays do you expect from students coming in that are being submitted at the moment?
I think, of course, needless to say, after going through COVID-19, a lot of these stories are going to evolve maybe around that subject. Right. Last semester, we had a poetry contest, which was part of the Common Reader program. And one of the winners, the poem was about her sister and the sacrifice that she did as a newly graduated nurse, right. And how she had to go from, what she was expecting to be a nurse was going to be like. And then all of a sudden she was a nurse during a pandemic, and it just changed and it was nothing like she expected. So she talks about that in her poem, and it was just amazing. Like, it would give you goosebumps reading it. Wow. And she was one of the winners. So I'm imagining that for the essay contest, we're going to have a lot of that.
Perfect. And then who judges this essay contest, or who chooses the winners? So
we have a small committee of judges. It'll range. We'll have the supervisor that they're from the ASC that oversees the writing tutors, which she is an expert in writing, of course. And then we have some professors, I believe, some faculty members from the English department. Perfect.
And then when students submit their essays, is it going to be like their names retracted so there's no bias, or how's that going to work?
Yeah, so students can submit the essay to Measure of a Life at shsu.edu. They just send the essay. I'm actually in charge of making sure the names are not displayed. So I organize the essays. I make sure everything's covered. And the only person that knows the names is me, and I'm not part of the judging committee. Yeah. And I keep that secret.
Perfect. And you kind of dipped into the next question of where students can submit it, but when is it due? And can you say the email one more time?
Yeah, so the email is measureofalife at shsu.edu. I mean, and there's a lot of flyers around campus, sandwich boards that you can go and scan the QR code for more info. And yeah, what was the rest of your question?
When is it due? Yes.
So yeah, it's due on March 28th, around, I would say, by noon.
By noon. Perfect. And moving on to the Common Reader Spoken Word Contest is this month, obviously. What kind of themes can we expect out of this?
Yeah, so that event's going to be at the beginning of April. That is also a new event that we're having, and we're hoping to keep also a yearly thing. We're really excited about it because it is new and innovative. Yeah. And if that one is also, it has 3 different themes. One is like the pandemic. The other one is truth. And I can't remember the third one, to be honest. But when students go and register, they have to register through a Google form, and it'll say the instructions there. And yeah, so students can really like open up about these themes.
Perfect. And what inspired these themes to be put into place for this?
So we are working with a fellow writer. She's actually also a tutor at the center, and she specializes in poetry. And she's the one that came up with these 3 themes, really based on the Common Reader book for the 2021-2022 year, which was Counting Descent by Clint Smith. And of course, if y'all read the book, it is a poetry book. And so that's what really like inspired this event. And even though in the future books might not be poetry books, we can still keep using that theme.
Perfect. I know you mentioned like you said earlier, you just arrived in the summer into this new position, but do you know maybe how long these competitions have been held, sponsored by the Academic Success Center?
Well, the Academic Success Center, with the first year experience office, which is specifically the area I work within the ASC, have had the Common Reader for more than a decade now. And there's always events. But these, specifically the essay contest, like I said, they had a similar one before for a couple of years, but then with the pandemic, everything kind of came to a pause. And now we just try to like innovate those past ones.
Yeah. And if students would like to participate in this program, when and where can they submit their poems?
So they can submit it. They will have to submit it through the Google Forms and fill out some basic information, their name, their IDs, stuff like that, just so we have some information when we announce them the day of the event. And they will have to submit the poem they're written, just so we can like read it ahead of time, make sure everything is good to go. But it is a spoken word, so we do want them to speak freely. We won't tell them, oh, you can't say that or anything like that. And they can do that by scanning the QR codes at the flyers. There are also flyers around campus, or they can go to shsu.edu/FYE/common reader. I know that's a little long, but or they can just email FYE@shsu.edu and I'll answer their questions. Like they can just ask me, I can send them a link and they can register through there.
And when and where is the event again?
So the event will be April 5th. It'll be at the Terrace by the Clock Tower, which I don't know the formal name of the Clock Tower, but so it'll be there. It'll be in the evening from 4 to 6. So it'll be kind of like an open mic event, but of course they'll be prepared with their poems ahead of time. And
you said they'll be performed as well, not just written, right? And each student gets to perform their own poem. Are you guys gonna have like mics out there, like a whole an event type thing outside?
So it'll be really fun. We're really wanting a lot of people to come. Guests can come to just see the event. You don't have to be competing to be there. It's going to be open to all students, faculty, and staff. We will have food. Since it is a Tuesday, we're having Taco Tuesday themed food. It is until supplies last. But yeah, we'll have drinks and we'll have tables and centerpieces and lighting and everything. So it'll be a fun night for people to just come together and have fun.
Definitely looking forward for that. And moving on to the next program you guys have, it's called the Deliberative Dialogues in April. Can you tell us more a little bit about that?
Yeah, so that one is the second final contest for Common Reader to close Counting Dissent by Clint Smith. And that one is that same week. It's actually 2 days later on April 7th, which is a Thursday. It will be at the White Ballroom this time. We usually have one in the spring and then another one in the fall. Last fall, it was in the Orange Ballroom. And so it will be April 7th, like I said, it'll be from 4 to 6:30. It is a little bit of a long event, but it's really fun. It's very engaging. And students, faculty, and staff come together again and they form groups and they just present them. They're presented with like a question. And then it's just some place where they can come together and really talk and deliberate, as the title says it, about this topic. And then they answer a series of questions throughout the 2 hours. And they come up with like a result of like a plan. For example, last semester it evolved around the COVID-19 pandemic and like, what would you have done differently, to be able to like go through it maybe a little bit in more of an ease. And then they have judges. And so the table of judges, they judge every team's kind of like plan for the future. And then the winners get scholarship monies.
Perfect. And when and where can students get tickets for this event? Or is it first served?
They have to RSVP. Okay. They don't have to get tickets, but they do have to RSVP. Dinner will be provided to everyone who attends. So I totally encourage people to do that. And the money for these scholarships is really great too. So they just have to RSVP online. Again, it's a QR code they can get on the flyers, or if they go to the FYE website, Common Reader section, it's on there. There's a link. And they can RSVP.
And before we wrap up real quickly, are there any events coming up for maybe late April into May for the Academic Success Center?
Yeah, so late April, we're having a job fair. So anybody who would like to work at the ISC as a tutor or peer mentor and some other positions, we encourage everyone to go to that. And then, of course, in August, for all the freshmen, we're having New Student Convocation. We're already on planning for that.
Perfect. New Student Convocation was very exciting, I will say that. So we have plenty of events for you guys coming up after spring break. To start off, first off, a big thank you to Chantal Brusset, our guest for today. Make sure to check the Academic Success Center, their website, and all the flyers on campus for more information on all of these contests mentioned today. As we mentioned, spoken word contest is on the 25th, on the 4th, from 4 to 6 by the Clock Tower. And the Deliberative Dialogues contest is on the 7th, like you mentioned, from 4 to 6:30. Other events for our Bearcats out there, Bearcat Express is on March 22nd at 11 a.m. on the Yard, where Bearcats are welcome to express themselves while listening to music and enjoying some delicious ice cream. And register online to come kayaking. Yes, it's spring and almost summer for kayaking at the Trinity River at the University campus on March 23rd at 5 o'clock. And enjoy some free BFA Senior Art Exhibition on the 24th through the 26th at 4 p.m. at the Satellite Gallery here on campus. And at the CJ Auditorium at 7 p.m., you can check out their Twitter page at SHSU CJ if you want more information on that. And lastly, check out the theater department's production of A Doctor in Spite of Himself on March 24th, 25th, and the 26th at 7:30 at the University Theater Center. Tickets for free online for students on their website. But for now, get some rest, Bearcats. because we're ready to see you at all these events. But for now, I'm Jesus Martinez. We'll see you here back in a couple weeks.